Is here and Sir Prescott. Prescott's got a new book. New book day is always a great day. One of my favorites. Whenever I get a new book, um, I always get that sense of possibilities. What is this book going to bring into my life? I mentioned before how certain books have shaped my life. Sorry, I got to remember to speak up. How certain books have shaped my life um, within the first few moments of reading it. Reading Autobiography of a Yogi, Paramahansa Yogananda, and I knew my life was different just when I picked it up. Um, Reading Born to Run. Brian's here. Brian, how are you? Um, I started reading Born to Run in the bookstore in line as I was buying another book. Um, it happened to be on the, as you're walking in line and you have the new books or bestsellers as you walk by them, and I picked it up as I was waiting in line. It was a long line. Um, and there was a connection because the first quote was from the Tao Te Ching, the epigraph: "The best runners leave no trail behind, leave no tracks behind." Um, and at the time, I was studying and reading and writing my own book on the Tao Te Ching. Um, and I thought, well, there's something here. I got to read. Before I got to the line to check out, I bought the book. I got home. I told everyone I was going to be an ultra runner and I was going to run 100 miles. And I did. My cat is saying good morning to everyone. So give me 1 second, guys. I'm just bringing up my desktop so I can read your comments. There we go. Let's see. Who is Paul? You do not see a Paul in the comment section, so I can't answer that question. Oh, you're talking about the book. You don't have a new book. I have a new book. I do have a new book. Brian says, good morning to Eric. William Hart is here. William, my friend, how are you? Let's see. Prescott says, you, Mr. Eric Paul McCarty. Yep. I've never gone by Paul before, so you lost me for a second, but I'm back. The book is the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Patanjali was a yogic seer. Some say he was a divine incarnation, much like Krishna or Shiva, Ganesh. But for me, he's just a teacher. When I say just a teacher, that's not in a diminishing role at all. It is I don't know what you're saying, Prescott. Patanjali. And I've been saying it forever. So I hate going through corrections all the time. I got to tell you. Maybe it's a judgment on my part. Um, Everyone says things differently. And it's okay. So let's drop all that and let's get to the issue itself. To get past the surface. Sometimes we get so bogged down into details that my view is this, your view is that, you say it this way, I say it that way, and we never get down to the essence of what we're all trying to say. Patanjali, Yoga Sutras. And then I'll explain what the book is. This is verse 1. We are going Samadhi Pada. Pada means sort of a chapter. And we're going to read more than one. When we did the Tao Te Ching, one verse each day for 81 days. There's 195 sutras here, but they flow together nicely. So we're not going to leave off with just one. We're going to read through several until we get where it makes sense to start to the next one, if that if that works for you guys. Anyway, enough talking for me. With great respect and love, now the blessings of yoga instructions are offered. Yoga is experienced in that mind which has ceased to identify itself with its vacillating waves of perception. When this happens, then the seer is revealed, resting in its own essential nature, and one realizes the true self. At all other times, the self appears to assume the form of thought's vacillations, and the true self is lost. That's where we'll stop. We will stop at Sutra 4. So we're welcomed in. This is a teaching of yoga. We go to a yoga class, 90 minutes, an hour, 30 minutes, and we are greeted with a welcome, and we're told how to stretch. In 195 sutras, some say 197, depending on what version you have, Patanjali mentions asanas, the postures, I believe 3 times, and it's all related to how to sit in meditation. Nothing to do with exercise. Now, exercise is great, and yoga is a great form of exercise, but it's only a sliver, or asanas. It's only a sliver of the 8-fold path, the 8 limbs of yoga. So after the introduction, we're told that yoga is experienced in the mind which has ceased to identify with its vacillating waves of perception, meaning we're no longer identified with the thoughts that are always flowing through the mind. It's going to happen. It's going to keep happening. We had that talk with Emma yesterday. She was asking about meditation, and she was mentioning how she's always having thoughts, always having thoughts, always having thoughts. That's the nature of the brain. However, meditation isn't the removal of thoughts. It's that we are no longer identifying with the thoughts. William says, my apologies, Eric, and please forgive my presumed projection and misunderstanding. I did not mean correcting in a negative way. I would have not assumed you wanted them when you had not asked. Hey, not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. William says, to answer your question, I'm feeling thankful this morning. How are you this morning? I'm doing good. Excited to be starting a new reading. It was great reading the Tao Te Ching, and man, I got a lot out of re-immersing myself in the Tao. And now I'm excited to not move on, but be exclusive. We got something else now. New teachings. So when we cease to identify with the mental imprints, when we cease to identify with the thoughts, doesn't mean the thoughts have stopped. It means we cease to identify with them. And we do that through the practice of yoga, which means practicing the ethical principles, the yamas, the niyamas, through the asanas, because the body gets still. And when the body gets still, the mind gets still. When the mind gets still, the body gets still. This is, we can say, the mind-body connection. But even then, we're introducing a degree of separation. It's not mind-body, mind-body, one thing. The mind expressing itself as the body. So, when we do that, when we cease to identify our essential nature as the self, as the seer, as the witness, as the observer, becomes apparent. And we start identifying as the witness, which, man, it's a miraculous state. Because does anything happen to the witness? The witness doesn't judge, doesn't persecute, it doesn't hold a grievance, doesn't hold resentments. The witness is pure, and it's unconditional, and it's loving. If you witness a horrific act, and you witness a beautiful, beautiful scene, the witness itself is unaffected by either. It just accepts. However, a judgment enters, a thought. Now, I'm not saying that if you see a horrific act, you don't intervene or you don't do what's necessary, however that might be. Of course you do, because you're compelled by the heart to answer the issues of the world. But when you're compelled by the heart, you're acting from the stage of a witness, meaning you're bringing love, you're bringing love, you're bringing love, because that's all you can do, because that's all you are as unconditional awareness, unconditional love. That's why they mean resting in its own essential nature. Resting in its own essential nature. So it really feels like a miraculous state. And it happens it happens all the time because it's reality. It's who we are. Everything we see in the world, all of our thoughts, it's all based upon a thought, our perceptions that we have projected outwards. However, the witness itself, the observer, never projects anything, simply accepts and accepts and accepts. So when we meditate, the first thing we notice, man, what a mess our mind is. What a mess. It's supposed to be a mess because it's supposed to think. The brain is always thinking. The witness doesn't think, it observes. So if we say to ourselves, man, I'm having all these thoughts, who is it that's having the thoughts? And who's aware of having those thoughts? You make that easy shift right into awareness. It's an easy shift until we lose it, but it never goes away. Never goes away. That's what the last one, that's what it means. But all other times, the self appears to assume the form of thoughts' vacillations, and the true self is lost. The key word, appears. It only appears to assume the form. It never does. It never truly does. So, first 4 sutras of the Samadhipada, which is the beginning of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. That's it, guys. Let's dive back in the conversation. Prescott says, Yogi, how much have you made from YouTube this month? I don't know. I haven't checked. They post a payment, I believe, on the 21st. Between the 21st and the 26th, it's deposited in my account. Prescott says, hey, Yogi, would you have checked out Care Kern? He's live right now on YouTube. Just leave a small comment. Let's see. What kind of stuff are we looking at, Prescott? I'm there now. All right, so mythology. Just left a comment. All right, so hey, any thoughts on the Yoga Sutras? Jay says, be right back. Storm just started. Prescott says he's a gaming channel. And our friend Optimob is here. Optimob, how are you? Prescott says hello to Timo. Brian waves at Optimob. So as we can see with the Yoga Sutras, we are being asked to examine the mind. Let's see. William says he said 4. I feel like I missed them. Yep, they are. Each one is very short. None of them are long. Let's do it one by one real quick. The title is On Being Observed by Spirit. Usually these are accompanied by commentary by a yogi master, a yogic master, sorry. But but I picked this one. It doesn't have commentary. It leaves us up to us. Leaves it up to us. So let's. I'm going to do each one slow. Brian says, I was going to see if you will do a call with me later, if you're free. You know what? I wanted to yesterday after the second live stream afternoon, and we got carried away. We kept talking. But today, for sure, boy, absolutely. So this is one. With great respect and love, now the blessings of yoga instructions are offered. This is two. Yoga is experienced in that mind which has ceased to identify itself with its vacillating waves of perception, thought waves. That was two. Three. When this happens, then the seer is revealed, resting in its own essential nature, and one realizes the true self. Three. This is four. At all other times, the self appears to assume the form of thought's vacillations, and the true self is lost. Though the true self can never be lost, or it wouldn't be the true self. Let's see. William says, hey, Timo, happy to see you again. So those are the first four. And it goes all the way up to, this is just the first pada. We'll go up to 51. So as you can see, we got a lot of studying, a lot of insights ahead of us. Here's what the first four are essentially saying. One, welcome. We're going to study the truth, the true way of nature, the true way of yoga. It's being introduced. Optimob says, like and thumbs up, done. I appreciate that. And then, right off the bat, what I love about this, he doesn't ease his way in. He's saying, here's what happens. Prescott says, nature and yoga, absolutely. Live, laugh, love. Excellent, Prescott. I like that. So, right off the bat, Patanjali says, we're identifying wrongly. We're going through life identifying with our thoughts. But the teaching of nature says, we're going to introduce you to how to think with clarity. You are not your thoughts. Vacillating. Motion. The mind, the brain. Let's make that distinction between the brain and the mind. The brain is always moving. The brain is always in motion. The brain is always thinking. You are not the thoughts themselves. You're not the narrator. You are the witness. Patanjali calls it the seer. S-E-E-R. You are the seer. Man, imagine if you could relax in that. You're the seer of your thoughts, not your thoughts themselves. I'm not saying the thoughts are separate from you. Thoughts are appearing within you, but they are not you. When you look at the moon isn't appearing out there. The moon is appearing to the seer. And yet, the moon isn't separate from the seer. You are essential to the perception of the moon. Without you, there is no perception of the moon. That doesn't mean the moon does not exist. It means there's no perception of the moon. If a tree falls in the woods, does it make a sound? If there's no one there to hear it, does it make a sound? It produces vibrations, and yet without a perceiver, no one perceives the vibratory nature of a sound. Vibrations still exist, but we don't hear an actual sound because we are not there to hear an actual sound. Jay says, Eric, brother, would you kindly look at Mira's last live? How many views? I will. Hey, Jace, do you have a link for that real quick? I apologize for asking. Optimob says to Sir Prescott, the third, live, laugh, love. It's a great greeting, isn't it? Live, laugh, love. Optimob will be right back. Brian says, yes, it was doing um, a meditation this morning. May have got almost a few minutes without thoughts and just breathing out of 20-minute meditation. That's how we meditate. The brain thinks, the mind remains silent. We identify with the thinking, but the mind is always silent. Every once in a while, we shift into the mind and we become the witness to the thinking. Just a night watcher doing burpees in his bedroom. It has been a while. It has been a while since the appearance of Night Watcher, now known as Sir Prescott F. Shrimpleton III. Jace drops the link. Thank you, Jace. Holy cow. 76,509 views. 55 thumbs up, including mine. 56 thumbs up. Just changed. Man, incredible. So something shifted for Mir. You know? And he never changed. Mir just kept presenting the comment that Jace left. Let me read it real quick, guys. Much love, brother. Helping wild injured birds recover so they can rejoin their families. This is what Mir's been doing all along. He didn't make any big change to his channel. He kept doing what he loved. And people came to him. What a great positive message. Guys, keep doing what you love. Keep putting out that positive message. And the audience will find you. You don't have to go out and find your audience. They will find you. William says, this is what I feel was trying to allude, what I was trying to allude to last night with Rhonda's comments about the two. We draw the difference where one sky begins from where we observe touch. We draw the difference, but is there a difference? As I mentioned several times, if you go outside in dawn before the sun comes up, or right when it's coming up, or you go outside when the moon is full, the sky is open, stars are out, and you put your hands up in the air. Where does your hand leave off and the universe begin? Is there a distinction? Is there a gap? Is there you, a level of something different, and then the universe? Where does the universe leave off and you begin? With open hands, there's just the reach and the reach and the reach. There's no conclusion. There's no conclusion of, well, here's the universe, here's Eric. There is just isness itself. The reach of self, which is infinite. Optimop says, just a night watcher doing burpees in his basement. What a channel name. It is. Made me laugh when he did it. Night watcher says he is Prescott, by the way. 76,000. That's got to be a new body. I don't think so. Night Watcher is suspicious. He's suspicious by nature. Probably for a good reason. It's helpful. It's helpful to have someone do that. However, I think it is. I'm going to go with Jace. What he says. Want the secret? We all just need to share each other's streams. It's working. Absolutely. Our friend Sabine is here. Says hi, everyone. Sabine, how are you, my friend? Remember, he also had that on for quite some time. My thoughts, in the absence of, I'm optimistic by nature. In the absence of someone saying, this is the way things are, hey, my assumption, and it is an assumption, is Mir is reaching people through the love that he's putting out. And I like that assumption, and I support it 1,000%. Speed says, hi, Yogi Eric. Not what you says, thanks, Timo. Speed says, hope you're all doing fine. Thank you, my friend. I hope you all as well. So Brian made an excellent point up above that in his 20-minute meditation session this morning, there was moments of the absence of thought where it was just the breath. We confuse the art, the practice of meditation as right from the beginning, our mind's got to be clear. And how do we do it? Because it ain't working for me. The brain doesn't work that way. We'll make that shift. It already happens. It always happens. You just keep returning to the object of meditation, be it the breath, be it a mantra. Speed says, I'm listening in the background, just getting ready to go grocery shopping. I appreciate you listening. Speed says, hope you're all doing fine. Jay says, Mirror's trending, so he gets a lot of traffic sent to him. Plus the birds are stunning. It all makes it work. I agree. Matt Watcher says, how to pronounce Kare Akeem. Appreciate that. Brian says, I saw Mirrors live late Saturday night. It was amazing birds. Absolutely. Jay says, Eric, I can't seem to comment on your bids or shorts. Excuse me, guys. Weird. I don't know. I will look into that. Hey, if that happens to anyone else, let me know. Hopefully we'll be able to clear that up. The last comment I see was from four hours ago. Some comments from Joe Delaney and from Berno. All right, guys, it's just about time for me to take my walk. Night Watcher says, so Yogi, how are you this fine morning? I'm doing good. I'm a little stuffed up. Allergies. Once I start walking, though, once I get outside, everything clears up. Brian says, have a blessed day, everyone. You too, Brian. Jay says, also going to walk. The rain has stopped. Nice. Enjoy your morning, Jace. You and Xena. We're going to buy egg yolk. You guys leave a comment. Let me know any thoughts on the Yoga Sutras. Is it starting to make sense? If not, it will. And we'll just keep diving in, exploring and exploring and exploring. When we reach a certain point, we'll take a break We'll do the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, Deepak Chopra. I also thought about reading The Prophet by Kahlil Gibran. Beautiful book. Everyone should have a copy of the, and maybe I'll read from it on this afternoon's live stream. Everyone should have a copy of The Prophet at hand somewhere. Night Watcher says, I'm starting to draw again. That's awesome. I think you should be, just my opinion, I think you should be presenting your channels, your drawing and how to draw on your channel. Man, I think Night Watcher could have a hugely successful channel. And by successful, I don't just mean earning an income. That he would help and influence a lot of people in a positive direction just through his talent. Brian says, I've read Deepak's books. Yeah, I believe I've read just about all of them. I've had this particular book since 1993. I have it signed from Deepak, not in 93, later, as he signed it to both Milka and myself. It's a book of Vedic and yogic wisdom. Wish You Knew says, Baby Bimbo Babble. Man, I agree 100%. I can't argue that logic. And even if I could argue that logic, why would I? Why would I add my own adult yogi babble into the mix? It would just muddle things up. And far be it from me to muddle. I do not want to be confused for a muddler. With that, guys, gonna head out in nature. Jace, enjoy your walk. Night Watcher, thanks for hanging out. Both you and Prescott. Brian, I'm looking forward. I want to check out your video from yesterday. It was a monster workout. William, I will call you later. Timo and Sabine, I look forward to seeing what you guys do today. There's always something. When you get a chance, guys, let me know. Let me know where you are in watch hours. A muggler. Well, I don't want to be a muggler either. I don't think. Do I? We got a peace sign from Jace. Let's see. Oh, and I've watched his videos, Triple Wells. Yeah, I do as well. I mentioned before, I was fortunate to learn meditation from a student of Deepak Chopra, as well as learn to be a teacher from the Chopra Institute. Deepak teaching how to teach. I've gotten a lot of wisdom from Deepak Chopra. And I hope to share it. So not only will I be doing the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, on my members channel, I'll be doing the 7 Spiritual Laws of Yoga. William says, I will watch and comment. It seems to be working for me. Awesome. William says, yes, Yogi, enjoy the walk. And William, we'll talk later this afternoon. Oh, from Harry Potter. Yeah, I think I recognize that. Thank you, Night Watcher. A non-magic human. There is no such thing as a non-magic human. To be human is to be magical. To be alive is to be magical. Think of this. It wasn't guaranteed. Your existence wasn't guaranteed. If one of your great ancestors, a single-celled whatever, climbed out of the ocean and something came along and stepped on it, you wouldn't be here. If a slightly quicker saber-toothed tiger showed up one day, if you failed to catch the woolly mammoth, feed your family, any of those things happen, any of the infinite things happening, you wouldn't be here. Not guaranteed by the laws of science. However, here you are. Not only that, you woke up this morning and you had magically an entire universe tailor-made for your existence. A balance of elements, a balance of gases, of all the infinite particles, particular ones came together in some sort of energy and created the atoms that needed to be you. Those atoms created molecules. Those molecules created cells. Those cells created a body and a brain that you get to inhabit. And you had to do nothing to make that happen. You didn't wake up in the morning and say, okay, now I need a universe. You didn't say, man, I hope there's an atmosphere this morning because it would sure be great to breathe, or to breathe. None of that. You had to do none of that at all. You were granted by grace and virtue of your existence itself. Does it get any more magical than that? Nope. Let's see. One says that's how they are referenced in Harry Potter, but I agree, Yogi. I never read or watched Harry Potter. People kept recommending it. Nor could I read all of Lord of the Rings. I read The Hobbit. As a teenager, I absolutely loved it. And then I started the Lord of the Rings, and it lost me. Man says, or not what he says, man, I wish it was a lithosphere this morning. Brian says, need a universe. Universe, one verse, one song. And we are all singular notes within its symphony. Singular notes. A single note is never separate from the symphony itself. It plays through. Well, Night Watcher, I hope you go out and get yourself a lithosphere this morning. All right, I'm going to walk. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'll see everyone later. I'll be back. I'll be live again in the afternoon. Take care, guys. Optimum, if you guys are still here, let us know later when you got the opportunity. Let us know your watch hours. I'm right now about to bring Optimum up. I'm going to have him up and running. I'm going to have Jace up and running. And then through the day, 634. Man, that's a giant leap. Giant leap. I believe it was 695 yesterday. And more days are being held, so we are in the 500s, if not more. Man, guys, we can do that. We can do it by Sunday. So if you don't mind, guys, let's put in some hours. Let's put in some big watch hours for Optimum. Let's get them there, and then we continue to support doing what we do from here. We share people out. We share each other out, all of us. And then, I know Brian, he's never said, guys, I need watch hours. Guys, I need more subscribers. He just keeps doing what he does. But I'd love to see him get to 1,000. He's almost there. Guys, he is at 917. If you're not subscribed to Brian Lane, please do so. We'll keep working. We're going to keep working for each other. Here's the thing. I love being a content creator. I love doing what I'm doing. But my job, my vocation, my purpose, my dharma is you. You are my dharma. Each and every one of you. So let's keep working for each other, guys. Oh, I saw that, Night Watcher. That is sad. Brian, thanks, Eric. Absolutely. Man, you got a beautiful and positive message to share. So I want to work for Brian Lane because to work for Brian Lane means I work for everyone. I work for everyone who has overcome or is overcoming or hopes to overcome their own addiction. And guess what, guys? We're all addicted to something. Here's the bottom line. We're all addicted to our thoughts. And as Patanjali says, we are not our thoughts. We are witness to the thoughts. So let's break that addiction and we live from the heart. And in the heart, it's where I find each and every one of you guys. So, now what you says, and her son died 5 months before. That is sad. I saw in the news that she had passed away. All right. Blessings to you, my friends. I'm going to see everyone later. Take care.